You know the person who has the business, the car, the house, the team, the revenue. On paper, they've won, but something's off. There's a gap between what they've achieved and how they actually feel day to day. That gap has a name, and we call it the drift. My name is James Neilson-Watt. I've been an entrepreneur for over 15 years. I'm a health professional by trade. I was a chiropractor, actually. And a few years ago, I decided to get into the online entrepreneur world. And since then, my life has completely transformed. And 2 years ago, my family and I sold all of our stuff and started traveling the world full time. Now I run a portfolio of companies. We're in property, consulting, business development, and software. And I've been in the personal development space for a number of years and have really started to figure out what held me back and what's now moving me forward. And I want to welcome you to the Protocol 1 podcast. This is a podcast designed for people who are experiencing success in their life in some capacity, but in others, they're looking and thinking, this is not how I thought I wanted it to turn out. This is not the experience that I really wanted to have, and I'm struggling in different areas. Maybe you are financially successful, but physically unhealthy. Maybe you are physically successful, but financially or relationship. Or maybe you have all of the above, but you just don't feel on mission and you're really disconnected from your loved ones. That feeling, that reality is what we call the drift. The drift is a slow and comfortable slide into a life where you are optimizing for targets you didn't consciously choose. You are unconsciously high performing. You are effective at hitting goals, but those goals are inherited from society, your parents, your industry, or your limiting beliefs, not designed by you. I, for example, was really focused on making money because I didn't grow up with much money. It's not that I was necessarily instilled those goals. It was that the goals were instilled for me by my worldview. It took me a number of years to realize that having money is good, but how I get it will determine my level of fulfillment and ultimately my success. I don't want to look back on my life in my rocking chair and think I worked too much. I bought a nice car and I had a nice house, but I didn't have the things that really mattered to me. And it wasn't until I started taking a look and taking inventory as to all aspects of my life was I really started to become aware of what was actually driving me and how that wasn't aligned with my ultimate destiny. I think we all end up with regrets at the end of our lives, but our job in life is to reconcile the path we're on and minimize the number of regrets. We only get to live once. There is no restarts. I can't learn something and go, oh gosh, I'm going to reload the game and start again. We have to keep moving forward. And so the purpose of the show is to bring on experts who have had experiences and have learned things and have done things. And us, the listener, including myself, can extract what we call our Protocol 1 from those experts. At any moment in time, there is one thing that you need to be focused on implementing into your life, into your mindset, into your habits. Once it's then assimilated into your character, into your routine, you can then move on to the next thing. Most of us get overwhelmed because we realize that a lot needs to change and then we try and change all of it at once and we end up half-assing it. The reason for that is we're told two lies. The first is a trap of the hustle culture. Grind harder, sleep less, manifest more. It treats you like a machine that just needs more fuel, and that's not entirely true. And most of us start to realize that when we've done it for long enough. Trap number 2 is the soft spiritual approach. Meditate, journal, find your purpose. It treats you like a soul disconnected from the real world. Both are incomplete. One gives you the science of success without fulfillment. The other gives you the art of fulfillment without execution. And therefore, there is only so much that you can really do. This is what Protocol 1 is really about. It's the Gary V. Hustle and Grind with the Eckhart Tolle retreat. It's how do I remain happy, content, focused, while radically driven to achieve more. The achievement is not what gives us the fulfillment. It's becoming the person that can achieve the result. I always say that everything is simple, but it's not easy. And the reason it's not easy is because becoming the person that you need to be to achieve the result is hard. If you want things to be easy, you just need to be the person that would find it easy. There's things that I do that I find easy that you might find difficult. There's plenty of things that you find easy that I will find difficult. And the gap is not knowledge. It's being the person that is available to the opportunity, who's available to the strategy, and who can execute the strategy with enough intensity and diligence to get the result. An example is if you want to have a six-pack, there's a million people that'll sell you a PDF on how to get a six-pack. You can ask ChatGPT how to get a six-pack. Whether you or I have a six-pack comes down to our belief in whether or not we need one and our reasons why, as Tony Robbins would say, because it's that gives us the meaning and the purpose to actually do what's required to have the six pack, to give up the cake and chocolate, to do the exercises and to do it for a long time until we lose the body fat amount that we need and we gain the muscle mass for it to show through. And that's like anything in life. You want to have a good relationship, there is work involved. And the work is made easier when you are the type of person that would find that easy, the type of person who wants to have a good relationship, the type of person who wants to have money in their bank account. Now, you can want for it and be trying to manifest it and still executing on the wrong strategy. So protocol 1 is all about using strategy. But as Tony Robbins said, 80% of your success is psychology. And that's where I want to land here for protocol 1. Protocol 1 is about finding the one thing that you must execute on to get what you want or move in the direction of getting what you want. And that falls into what we call our 6 vectors, which I'll cover soon. What we're building here is different. Protocol 1 is the integration. We believe that you can engineer a life where you do not have to choose between success and fulfillment, between health and happiness, between love and relationships and your mission. What we're looking for with Protocol 1 is integrated excellence. Motivation by itself is unreliable and willpower is finite. The only sustainable path is architecture. You don't hustle your way out of a broken life design. You engineer a new one. Protocol 1 is not a coaching program. It's an operating system. If the body is failing, that is a hardware problem. If the mind is stalling, that's a software problem. If the soul feels empty, that's a directional problem. We identify the variable and we install the protocol. Now, I don't claim to be some kind of expert who knows it all. I've had my experiences. I've had my successes. I've had my failures. The purpose of the show really is for me to be interviewing the people that I want to learn from and extracting their value, extracting the juice, extracting the protocols out and digesting them into methods that anyone can follow. I'm looking for my next protocol 1. And in so doing, I'm extracting it out and giving it to you, the listener. I've interviewed over 130 high-profile entrepreneurs from Brad Lee, Dr. John DeMartini, Neil Patel, all sorts of people that have done amazing things. And this show is going to be about the fireside conversations, the real conversations, not the extended pitch, not just hearing what they want to say, but getting into the weeds and having them share the things that they might not normally share so that we can really understand the person, we can really understand the philosophy, and we can take from that conversation the things that we want to take from it. There's things that I'm going to hear and I'm going to go, that's exactly what I need to be doing. And there's things that you're going to hear and say, I'm never going to do that, but I am going to do this. Our job is not to look at it holistically and take all of it. Our job is to pull the pieces out that we need. That is protocol 1. Now, that's the philosophy of protocol 1. Now, let me show you the actual system, the framework that makes this work. Now, in Protocol 1, I took the idea of the Wheel of Life and I reworked them to align more with how I see them. And I took it that there are 6 vectors. A vector is a direction and a magnitude. It's not just what we do, it's how intensely focused on it are we and how long do we do it for. Now, there is what I call a 2-phase structure to this. Phase 1 is the foundation. This is the science of success. This is where we cover physiology, psychology, resources, and environment. These are the vectors that you need to get right before anything else. You cannot build legacy on a broken body or a chaotic mind. Phase 2, this is the expansion, the art of fulfillment. This covers mission and connection. These are the vectors that turn success into significance. Most people try and work on the higher values, the higher levels in the Wheel of Life, and they think, I'm going to work on my relationship and my mission. Meanwhile, their body is going to shit. Their mind is so anxious, stressed out, or focused on the wrong things. Their bank account is empty. Their calendar is absolutely chaotic. Protocol 1 looks to simplify things down into a foundation that you build upon, and then you expand that. I've never seen someone who's happy, healthy, emotionally switched on, mentally clear, has their calendar taken care of, their resources, time, money, energy, all in the right place, and then not achieve success and not achieve happiness and not have a good relationship and not be on mission. But I've seen plenty of people who say they're on mission, say they have a good relationship, and then they have a heart attack, which ruins the relationship because they pass away, or they are so stressed out they can't be with their kids, or they are with their kids but they're always at work in their mind, or they're anxious and stressed out and they burn out. Protocol 1 looks to flip that around. It looks to give you a mirror and look at the things that you don't want to look at and say, that's actually what I need to focus on. And so for me, this is a movement. This is not just a philosophy. This is not just a self-help thing. This is an investigation into how others are doing things, how we are doing things, and what are the pieces that we can add, change, or remove, swap out in ourselves and allow us to experience more success and more fulfillment. So like I said, there are 6 vectors. Physiology, this is the hardware. Body as a power plant, energy, sleep, nutrition, biomarkers, blood chemistry, etc. Psychology, this is the software. Focus, emotional regulation, resilience, mindset, beliefs. Number 3 is resources, the fuel. This is time, money, systems, decoupling time from income. How do we go from working to make money to start having more leverage in our lives? We're going to look at things like AI. We're going to look at productivity. We're going to weave in some psychology because half of your resource comes from your psychology. Environment, this is number 4. This is the container. This is the physical and digital spaces that we have for ourselves. This is the clutter on your desk. This is the information diet that you might need to go on. You stop watching political things right on social media. This is your social circle. This is your environment that you are operating within. Next is mission. This is the direction. This is the purpose, the values, the legacy. This is the cathedral, not the bricks. It's what all of this is being built for. It puts you on purpose. And number 6, this is connection. This is the tribe. This is our self, our partner, our family, our peers. This is the savage at work, the sage at home. What we're looking for here is if we can line these up, if I have my hardware set, if I have my software debugged, if I have the right fuel, I'm operating in the right container, I have the right direction, then my ability to cultivate the tribe around me, the family, the connections, the network is massively higher. I see so many people wanting to build their network and they're just not someone that has the value that a higher profile person would be willing to listen to. And so they end up just hanging out with other people who are trying to meet people. I've found that if you want to meet valuable people and receive value, you need to be of value. And then you can pull on the coattails of the person ahead. And if you do that right, now you've just lifted yourself up so that you can then pull on the next coattail, the next rung on the ladder. I can't reach for rung 10 when I'm at rung 1. And if we work on ourselves, we can start to climb the ladder because people do business with those they know, like, and trust. And business is not just business. My wife is doing the business of life with me, right? My friends are doing the business of friendship with me. This is all starts with that foundation. And that's why I put connection at the top, because too often we go for that when we are not the person that will command the types of connections that our soul is calling for. Now, here's the question you're probably already asking. Which of these 6 is the one I need to work on first? That's exactly what the diagnostic is built to answer. I've put together an assessment tool that allows you, the listener, to go and do an analysis on yourself and go, what is the vector that I need to prioritize? What is my focus? What does it need to be? And then through the resources that we're going to create, through the interviews that we're going to do, you're going to be able to listen to these people. And I'm bringing in people that are physiology experts, that are psychology experts, that are, business experts. You're going to be able to find the episodes around the vector that you're focused on and extract your own protocol 1. An easy example of this is if you're trying to do big things, but you're constantly dehydrated. I'll go real basic here. You're trying to do big things in business, but you're always dehydrated. Your mind is never going to be as clear as it should be. Your body is going to be more sick than it should be. And so when under pressure, you're not going to be able to perform and you're not going to get the most out of yourself. And so your protocol 1 might just simply be, and you might listen to a guest and realize this and say, I just need to drink more water. That is your protocol 1. You drink more water. This sounds so basic. And when I first started thinking about this, I said, people aren't going to get this. I didn't get this. If all you did in that example was just start drinking more water and focus on being hydrated, and that's all you did on top of everything else. I'm not saying you stop doing, your life. I'm saying you do your life and then you add one protocol on, and that one protocol is drink water. Once it is second nature to you to drink water, because you are now a person who drinks water, who is always hydrated, your identity has shifted, then that is not the next protocol for you. The next protocol is something else. It might be your diet. It might be exercise. It might be now your physiology is on point. That was like the thing. And now you're working on your mindset. The purpose of protocol 1 is to cut all the crap and say, what's the one thing I'm going to do? Tony Robbins talks about what holds us back is we overcomplicate what needs to get done. And by doing so, it makes it hard to do things. You have to go to the gym, but first you have to buy the right shoes and then the right shirt, and then you got to drive, then you got to park, and then you got to go inside and you got to pay, and then they're going to try and sell you something, and it's all hard. You just go, I'm not going to go to the gym. But if all you had to do was just drive to the gym or go for a walk, how much more simple is that? Like if you just distilled it down to my one thing is I'm going to drive to the gym, I'm going to get out of my car, I'm going to walk inside, and then I'm going to get back in my car and go home. This sounds stupid. I was a health professional for almost 10 years, and I would tell my clients this. I said, you want to quit smoking? You're allowed to smoke, but you do it outside, in the cold, in the rain, no cup of coffee, no biscuit, no friends, no jacket. Go outside and smoke your cigarette. And I said, oh, I don't want to do that. And you go, exactly. Train yourself. I'm allowed to smoke. My protocol one is I'm going to go smoke outside where it's cold and rainy and miserable and no friends. I want to get fit. I'm just going to go to the gym and then I'm going to go home again. Because when you get to the gym, you're going to say, I'm at the gym. I might as well work out. And then you're not going to overcomplicate it. You're just going to pick some stuff up, move it around, and then you're going to stop and you're going to go home. And the next time you're going to do that again and you're going to do that again. And then eventually you're going to say to yourself, I feel kind of good. Maybe I should have a bit more of a plan for my exercise. Maybe instead of just lifting stuff up and, for half an hour and then going home, I'm actually going to focus on a core area of my body. Protocol one is about undercomplicating. It's about taking the basics and saying, if I just did this, I'm moving in the right direction. It's not what water do I drink and how do I drink it and do I put lemon in it and do I do this? Do I freeze it to exactly this temperature? That overcomplicates. It's about saying, I'm just going to drink more water. And then in so doing, I'm then going to become more sophisticated as I progress. Now, the purpose of the assessment is to look inward and figure out what the gaps might be. The purpose is not to judge, it's to identify. Your lowest scoring vector is your current bottleneck. And you might think, well, I'm broke, James, and you're telling me to exercise because my physiology is low. Well, if you're trying to do business deals and you're overweight, sickly, unfit, unhealthy, way too skinny, way too whatever, do you think that you're going to be showing up as your best version of yourself, commanding attention? Or do you think someone who's got their shit together, who goes to the gym, who's healthy, who drinks water, who eats cleanly, that person is going to show up in those sales meetings and is going to be able to get the job done? I know that when I miss out on sleep, I don't perform as well. So my protocol one for a while was just get better sleep. And then it was drink more water. And then it was drink less coffee. And then it was exercise. And so I just stacked protocol ones until they became a part of me. So like I said, the lowest scoring question inside that vector tells you exactly where to focus. So you go, here is my vector, and within it, here's what I need to focus on. That focus point is your protocol one right now. And then you can use the resources available to you, whether it's in our community group, whether it's in these episodes. Now, I'm not claiming to have all the answers. I have some answers. I've got a lot of experience. I was a health professional, chiropractor focusing on chronic pain and stress conditions. Did that for almost 10 years. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a father. There's a lot of things that we can learn from all people. There is just some people that have got more experience that when they say something, we can take it with more seriousness. And my hope is to curate those people for you and for me so that we each can learn something and take away at least one thing from that episode that makes us have a reflection, a confirmation, a validation, an aha that gives us a protocol one, gives us a direction. It might be, I need to hug my kids more. That might be your protocol one today. It might be, I need to be more gentle on my spouse. It might be, I need to be more firm on my colleagues or my employees. Whatever it is, it's going to align to some aspect of the vectors. And if you've done the assessment, I'll put a link below in the description. If you've done the assessment, you will know where you need to focus. And then we have a ton of resources that we are creating and already have that are going to help you to be able to go out there and make the change that you're looking for in your life. Now, how do we choose our guests? We look for evidence of mastery in at least one vector. And we're not looking for theory. We're looking for people who have done things, people that I can learn from. That's my litmus test. Can I learn from this person? Because if I can learn from this person, I believe that you can learn from this person. We're looking for founders who have built and exited companies, scientists who have published and practiced, people who have navigated hard transitions, selling a business, rebuilding a relationship, overcoming drug addiction, transforming their health. The filter is not fame. It's operational excellence. Now, with every guest we bring on, I'm looking to answer one question. If there was just one protocol that everyone listening to right now, one specific habit, one rule, one mental model that would instantly upgrade the quality of their life, what would it be? And my job is to extract that from the guest. Over time, these protocols, these answers will build into a library of protocol ones, what we call protocol ones, from the best operators on the planet. So at any moment, you can realize there's a physiology blocker, there's a mission blocker, there's an environment blocker, and you can go into our mastermind group where we're going to upload all the resources to it, and you can go in there and you can find the protocol ones that fit that, and then you can go, which one am I going to do? And you can grab it and you can use it and you can begin to transform your quality of life. Now, my goal is to collect the best information available so that I can collate it into a Protocol 1 book so that I can give that to every single one of you, and you can have it there on your desk so that at any moment in time, you can flick through, find the protocol, and then execute on it. So going forward, you can expect weekly interviews. We might throw in a direct to camera like I'm doing right now, but generally it will be weekly interviews running 60 to 90 minutes. We're looking at deep conversations, not surface speed rounds. We will have the odd solo episode where I'm sharing things that I'm learning and things that I'm doing in my life, but mostly I'm going to do that with guests. Now we have a Protocol 1 ecosystem. The podcast is free. This is the public layer. This is for you. This is for me. I get to go out there and interview guests. You get all the juice from those interviews. For the people who want to go deeper, we have our Protocol 1 mastermind community. That's where we're going to not only put the episodes, but we're going to put the protocols that we break down into trainings. I'm going to be uploading a lot of trainings. We're going to be doing webinars and various partnerships with our guests and putting that into that community as well. At the time of recording, this is going to be free. That may change in the future. It depends on how many people are in there and how much value is in there. But we always have free resources that go along with every episode. The mastermind is where the full protocols live, and it's where accountability happens. This is a community. The people who want to be in there want to be in there. This is where people share their assessment results, what they're working on, the vectors they're focused on. They collaborate together. They learn from each other. I think that all success and happiness comes from other people. If you're in business, somebody else has the money you're trying to get. You're just exchanging your service or your value for it. If you're wanting to feel fulfilled and loved and taken care of and want to be able to give love and take care of another person, there's a human being that you're looking for to be in relationship with. If you're wanting to contribute and help, there's a human being out there who needs that. And so everything that you want to create in your life and build, all the joy you want to have relates to people. And that's why bringing everyone together when we're all on purpose together, we might have different vectors of focus and different backgrounds and everything, but we're on purpose together to improve our quality of life, improve our ability to achieve success and be fulfilled. That's what the community is for. This podcast feeds that community, and the community deepens the podcast. So that's the full picture. Philosophy, framework, show format. Now I want to close with the one thing this entire show, this entire brand is built on. This idea of don't settle. I realized in life that it is too easy to settle. We settle for less than we deserve. We settle for less than we desire. And we do that because we feel like there is an insurmountable mountain or something in our way, something unknown, something holding us back. I learned years ago that life is happening for us, not to us. And for me, that means that I'm never going to settle for anything less than what I know my full potential is. Now, I might not know exactly what that is today, but one day I will realize what my potential was. And it's going to hurt if it was further than I got. It's going to hurt if it's less love in my relationship that I could have had. It's going to hurt if I have less connection with my children than I could have had. It's going to hurt if I am fitter and less unhealthy, or more unhealthy, should I say, than I could have been, and I'm more sick than I could have been. It's going to hurt if my bank account is more empty than it could have been. And so for me, this idea, Ryan Johnson talks about don't die. I think that's great. Adding on to that, now that I'm not going to die, which is physiology, right? Our first vector, I'm now looking at don't settle. Now that I'm not dying, I can not die and live like crap and feel like crap and be crap for everyone around me. I'm now not going to settle for anything less than my absolute full potential. And this is not a tagline. It's a vow. It means refusing the binary choice between success and fulfillment. It means accepting radical responsibility for every vector of your existence. If this resonates, you're in the right place. If it makes you uncomfortable, you're definitely in the right place. That means it's challenging you. So now, if you've come this far in the episode, I applaud you. I thank you for giving me this attention. I'm hoping that this is valuable. I'm really excited for what's to come in these future episodes that you're about to listen to. And so what I want you to do is I want to direct you to go and complete the 6-vector diagnostic assessment. This is going to give you an idea as to what vectors you need to focus on and which areas in particular are good points to start on your Protocol 1 journey. You can find the link below this episode, whether it's a video or it's on the podcast. It'll be in the show notes, in the description on the video. It's going to be below. You're going to be able to click that button and go and complete it. Again, it's completely free. This is just to align you on the podcast. This is not just a random podcast, guys. This is designed for me to go and get my Protocol 1s. It's designed for you to come on that journey and get your Protocol 1s. And so to do that, you need to identify what your focus needs to be. So go and do the assessment and find that out. Then what I want you to do is after you fill it out, you're going to be prompted to join the community group. I want you to join the community group. I want you to go and share your results, join in the conversation, and come back next week where we're going to start meeting the people who have already cracked these vectors, people who are achieving this fulfillment, the success in the vectors that we wish for. Some of them are doing really well in certain areas and horrible in others. This is what this is about. It's about finding that balance, not settling, not saying, well, I have to trade my health for my success. It's saying, no, what would I do to have health, and what would I do to have success, and what would I do to have both? So go fill it out, join the conversation. I'll see you next week. And remember, don't settle.